Word Girls. And my name is Jordan, I'm the moderator.
My name is Alicia, I'm the vocabulary founder.
I'm Ariana, and I'm the quote finder.
I'm Danielle, and I'm the illustrator.
And I'm Diamond Davis, and I am the summarizer.
Okay, so background information about the book. The Great Gatsby was written in Paris and the USA in 1924 and published in 1925 during the Modernism literary period. Modernistic fiction attempted to represent the sense of emptiness and disillusionment that dominated Europe and the United States after World War I. The following are characteristics of modernism, marked by a strong and intentional break with tradition. This break includes a strong reaction against established religious, political, and social views. Belief that the world is created in the act of perceiving it, that is, the world is what we say it is. There is no such thing as an absolute truth. All things are relative. No connection with history or institution. Their experience is that of alienation, loss, and despair, championship of the individual, and celebration of inner strength. Life is unordered and concerned with the subconscious. That's it. Okay, now we'll have the quotes / vocab finder. Oh, quote finder, I'm sorry.
Everybody turn your books to chapter 1, page 1, lines 4 through 6.
Chapter
Lines
1, page
4 through
1, lines 4 through 6.
Right there. 4. Okay. Whenever you feel like criticizing anyone, he told me, just remember that all the people in this world haven't had the advantages that you've had. To me, this quote meant like, to me, this quote meant sorry. This quote means that, like, if you think about before you start talking about somebody, because people don't have the same privileges as you, and you might be like the high class, they low class, so you might down their little spirits or whatever. That's what I think you mean. What y'all think you mean?
I feel like, same thing as you said, his dad was just telling him to, like, look, son, not everybody has what we had, so think before you criticize them, because what you're making fun of is probably not an opportunity or something they was able to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like people talk about people that are down on their luck at a certain point in time in their life, and he was just like, don't do that. It's not a good thing to do.
Right.
Because you never know when that could be your situation.
Right. And Diamond speaking. I think that he was just basically saying that he should stay humble. Keyword. Humble lies himself, if that's a word. Is humble lies a word? Anyway. That he should stay humble.
Yeah, I know a few people who do that nowadays.
The first vocabulary word that I found was in chapter 1, page 1. And the sentence, it says, in consequence, I am inclined to reserve all judgment. A habit that opened up many curious natures to me also made me the victim of not a few veteran bores. And I didn't know what bores mean, and it means to make something in whole. And the second vocabulary word that I found was feigned, is to simulate or to pretend. And it's on page 1. And the third vocabulary word I found was perceive. It's on page 2 in chapter 1. And it means to make something to a perceive by wrapping it.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask a question.
No. What they do the illustrator and the summarizer.
Okay. Okay, now we'll have the illustrator, Danielle.
We'll have to move to the computer. picture. Well, no point. This picture right here. Yep.
Can y'all see?
We do?
This picture right here is when Nick was describing the Bushans?
The Buchanans.
Buchanans.
That's
yes.
what I figured it out.
Their pallet, their pallet's across, and it was on the water. And this was from chapter 1. When Nick, Myrtle, and Tom, they were in a cab, and and Tom and Myrtle went to rows of white apartments.
I think you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. And then that's when Tom was on the phone with Myrtle and Daisy was in the back.
Oh, and they had dinner.
Yeah. And that's when Tom smacked
And broke her nose.
and broke her nose because she kept saying Daisy's name.
Good job, Danielle.
Talking about my wife. Stay your place.
Kill yourself.
Okay, so now we will have. Go here, now we will have the Summarizer by Diamond Davis.
Get out my face.
Okay, Diamond, stop playing.
Okay, so for chapter 1, this is the summary that I came up with. Okay, so our narrator, Nick Carraway, moved from the west to the east so he could go into the bond business. He lived in the West Egg, which was not as fancy as the East Egg, and this is in Long Island. He lives next door to a huge mansion owned by a man named Mr. Gatsby. Nick goes to the East Egg to have dinner with his second cousin once removed, named Daisy, and her husband Tom, who's an old college buddy of Nick. A woman named Jordan Baker is at the house as well. Nick keeps saying that she looks very familiar, but he doesn't realize how he knows her.
Right.
And then when Daisy said that Jordan was a pro golf player, I want to say, he started to put the pieces together because he heard rumors about her. Jordan reveals at the dinner table that to Nick that Tom is cheating on Daisy. When Nick gets home, he notices his neighbor, Mr. Gatsby, doing mysterious things in the yard. That was just chapter 1. Chapter 2. Tom and Nick head toward the city so Nick can meet Tom's mistress. His mistress is the wife of an auto mechanic named George Wilson. Tom messages Myrtle and tells her to meet him in the city. On the way to the city, Tom buys Myrtle a little puppy. She wanted a police dog, but she got some other type dog.
Somewhat.
And then they pull up to the apartment on 158th Street. Myrtle's sister, Catherine, and I guess some of her friends, the McKees, come over to the apartment as well. Everyone's getting drunk off whiskey. And Catherine said that she had been over Mr. Gatsby's house for a couple of parties. So then Catherine tells Nick that Tom and Myrtle don't like their spouses, like they can't stand them. And that the only reason why Daisy and Tom are still together is because she's Catholic and they don't believe in divorce, which is a lie. Because Daisy is not Catholic.
Right.
Okay. Then Myrtle keeps saying, Daisy, 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 Daisy. Tom's like, oh, you better stop. She did it, and she got hit in the face, and her nose broke. The end.
Okay. So now I have a question. I'm not going to go in order. And this is not one of my questions, but I wanted to ask this. What do you guys think was Catherine's reason for lying, saying that her sister was Catholic? Like, do you think that she even knew that Nick was Daisy's cousin?
Oh, can I say something? Does the camera have to be on me? No. Okay, so I think that, I told Marquise this last night, I think that the whole lie about her being Catholic was something that that Tom told Myrtle. just so she could stop like getting at him, because she's probably going to him like, when are you guys gonna divorce? When are we gonna be together? And he really don't want to break up with Daisy, so he lies to Myrtle and says, listen bruh, she Catholic, can't divorce her, they don't believe in that. And Catherine said it to Tom, because I don't think Myrtle or Catherine know that that's the cousin. They just think that that's probably one of Tom's old buddies, family members, something around that. So that's my viewpoint on it.
Anybody?
No, I feel the same way Diamond does.
I really didn't know why. Like, I really didn't analyze the situation. I really didn't know why Catherine would lie or whatnot. But then I kind of thought she was drunk. So, like, they say anything. And then they, like, really...
No, but drunk people tell the truth.
That's what they say.
But then again, maybe Catherine thought that was the truth,
Right.
because of what Myrtle may have told her that Tom told her.
So Catherine is Daisy's sister.
No, Catherine is Myrtle's sister.
Catherine is
Myrtle's.
I would say murder.
Myrtle. Or
But
you could say
then-
Mrs. Wilson.
But then it was so funny because at first they was drinking whiskey and whatnot. And then Tom was like, get some of people some mineral water. And I was like, what is a mineral water?
Mm.
Did anybody know what mineral water is?
No.
And then again, when I was reading, I was thinking, I was like, well, maybe, what if Nick heard the wrong thing? Because they said that he was drunk, because that was his second time being drunk. But I didn't want to overanalyze the book.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You did mention that they were drinking whiskey.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
In that
wow.
small little apartment, and folks was tripping over everything. They had no party in there. Okay. What are your thoughts about murder and the incident that happened between her and Tom?
Ariana?
I think she deserved it. Because, I mean, he should never did that. I mean, she should never been saying Daisy name. She should never got herself in a situation anyway to put herself with this man, knowing he married. And I would, if I were her, I wouldn't want to be mistress anyway.
Anybody else?
Oh, me. Okay, so I agree with what Ariana said. But yeah, she really shouldn't have like kept saying her name, because if he told you to stop, you should have just stopped. Why would you keep doing it? And then, but I don't agree with the fact that he hit her and broke her nose like that.
He should just
He could have been a little nicer about the situation. He could have handled it a different way.
Wait, Elijah.
I thought it was weird that Murder, she really didn't have a reaction once he hit her.
Right. She
So,
did it.
It was like an
She
awkward
just
moment,
sitting
like
there.
So what if she's
you're not
used
gonna
to
hit
that?
him back or something. It was weird.
What if she's used to that?
That's what I said. I was like, I was trying to go back to see if they described the tone in which he was telling her, like, to stop saying Daisy's name. Because the way they described Tom, he, like, real buff. He stand tall, like, and built. You think if somebody tell me to stop and he look like that, I'm finna keep going?
But
Excuse me?
even then, when I was reading on Schmoop, to get to more clarify on the thing, it said that in chapter 1, Daisy had already had a bruise from when Tom accidentally did something to her.
Yeah, when she was like, her fingers, something was dark, and she was like, Tom did it. She's like, I know you didn't mean to do it.
Right.
But yeah.
So he's very abusive.
I didn't think he was that abusive, because when I was reading, don't judge me, okay? I'm probably finna say something just real. Okay. I was reading, and they was describing how they was in the house or something, and Daisy was laying on the couch, and I'm guessing like Daisy would be the lazy person, and Tom would be the person who cleaned up all the time, like he a neat freak or something. That's what.
But they got
my first
butlers and
impression.
stuff that do that.
Mm-hmm. Huh?
They rich. They got butlers and stuff that do that.
Oh,
I think
I didn't think he
Daisy
was
was-
like that buff.
I think Daisy's just a self-centered person, to be honest.
Can somebody put the camera on me?
Let me see.
She crazy. I think she come from like a poor background.
Can y'all turn y'all page? Right, that's probably it. So then, while Tom giving her all this stuff, she feel like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep my man. Okay, can y'all turn me to page chapter 3? I mean 33.
Page chapter 3.
I was trying to see what Daisy was talking about that bruise.
But even then, before Daisy started saying, before Myrtle started saying Daisy, 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 you see here that.
Oh, so it wasn't chapter 3.
That what's his face?
Nick.
That Tom was saying something about her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Page 33. Go down to see where you see You'll
give me.
Wait. Go up to I'd.
I like to do.
Okay, yes. I like to do more work on Long Island if I could get the entry. All I ask is that they should give me a start. Ask Myrtle, said Tom, breaking into a short shout of laughter at Mrs. Wilson's entered with the tray. She'll give you a letter of introduction, won't you, Myrtle? Do what? She asked, startled. You'll give McKee a letter of introduction to your husband so he can do some studies of him. His lips moved silently for a moment as he invented George B. Wilson at the gasoline pump or something like that. He was trying to be funny himself.
Yeah.
And that's why I think she came back and started saying, even though that was later on. That's why I think she kind of came back and started saying stuff about Daisy, Daisy, Daisy.
I don't. Me, with the way they introduced Myrtle and Tom, they didn't introduce him as being like aggressive. Directly, they didn't as being aggressive, and I think she was more shocked than anything that he hit her.
Yeah.
Because he probably never hit her.
Right. She don't know the side of him.
Right. So I mean, back in those days, somebody hit me like that. He broke my nose. Like, what else he capable of? I wouldn't have did anything either, but it was kind of funny.
I would have fought back.
Not him. Who else
relationship.
Did you see that?
They have objects around. You better pick it up and use your
Did you
hands.
see that description of him? And you told me some fight back?
No, but back in the old days, okay, so my great grandma, she's 92, 93, finna be 93, something like that. And she was with a man, he was abusive, whatever, and she never did anything. She still has scars to this day. But back then they didn't believe that if a man put his hands on you, okay, you gotta keep moving.
No, it don't work like that. I will fight back to the day I die.
All right, next question,
It
guys.
wouldn't work like that.
Okay. What were the rumors reported about Gatsby? Can you explain? What was some of the rumors reported about him?
You talking about like how they describe it?
Like what they said about him?
Yeah.
Well, I know. You talking about when Catherine... Well, I know Catherine was telling... What's his name? Nick, that he be throwing them fabulous parties, and she had went to one. And that he was the cousin or nephew of some man by the name of...
It's on page 32.
Yeah, here it is. It said, well, they say he's a nephew or a cousin of Kaiser Wilhelm's. That's where all his money comes from.
Oh yeah.
So that's all I remember hearing about him.
So how do you feel about them like saying that was my question? That was my particular one that I was looking at. Like, how do you feel about them saying that about Gatsby being that they really haven't introduced him and he hasn't come into the story yet?
It got something to do with something. Like, it's gonna come back up. Because when I was reading it, I was wondering, I was like, well, how does the way he got his money have anything to do with the story?
Yeah.
Like, why is it important? Maybe it symbolizes something. But you know it's gonna have to come back up. Like, maybe, I don't know, he could be in a situation where he acts like real snobbish. And then people are like, well, you didn't get your money by yourself anyway. You got it from your nephew or your cousin. I mean, from your uncle or your cousin.
Right.
So I guess it could be in those terms. Anybody else? Yeah, we can get one. Yeah.
Okay, everybody turn your books to page 2, the first paragraph in chapter 1. Oh, yeah, page 2. Y'all see? I mean, my bad. I am still where it says I am still. It says, I am still a little afraid of missing something, and if I forget that, as my father snobbishly, don't they say snobbishly? Snobbishly suggested, and I snobbishly repeat, a sense of fundamental dissensus is parceled out unequal at birth. Okay. To me, this quote is like, well, Nick is basically saying that money is not the only thing that some people are born
Hold
to.
on, wait.
And
Okay, go ahead. I couldn't see the time because it was in the white part.
Nick is basically saying that money is not the only thing that some people are born to or whatever. Everybody don't have money like that. Like, everybody don't live off of money. And some people like are naturally just nicer and more honest. They have more sense of the fundamental dissensus, whatever they say. With, I guess fundamental dissensus, decisive.
Good job.
How y'all feel about that quote? Y'all agree or disagree?
I agree.
I think it kind of reverted back to the first quote that she was talking about his father telling him that.
Yeah.
And then a line of us said, reserving judgment is a matter of infinite hope. I am still afraid of missing something if I forget that. I think I really don't know. I really can't interpret it, but I think he means something like, if you forget that everybody isn't like fortunate enough, he'll miss out on like things in life, or like miss out on possible friends or good people to know and stuff like that if you just judge people by the way they look and not taking consideration that everybody isn't fortunate enough to have things like he did.
True. So we got time
So
for another.
basically, don't judge a book by its cover.
Okay. So let's get another question, shall we?
What is the difference between the two eggs?
Oh, the West Egg is on the people side, like people who ain't got money like that. I'm guessing, ain't that where Tom was staying?
He stays in the little running down.
No, Nick.
Yeah, Nick. Nick stays on the West End.
Nick.
Oh, Nick stays in the West Egg.
Yeah,
Tom
in that
stays
little
in the
run
East Egg.
down house, weathered
Ass people.
If you guys would turn to me, with me. Thank you so much. It's a page on her. I have to find it.
That describes it?
Nah, not necessarily the house. It was telling like the difference between the two eggs.
5.
Page 5?
That second paragraph.
Okay, so yeah, page 5. It was.
I think
Is
that's
that it? No, that's the one where they're actually describing his house. It was one of these quotes in here. I mean, one of the sentences in here that said that, of course, you know, the East Egg was fancier than the West Egg, but they said even then, people that lived in the West Egg were still had more than others.
Yeah. Because
in
Gatsby
other
lived in the
areas.
West Egg, and they describe his mansion as being huge.
Right. So it's not like the West Egg is just stupid run down. It's just not as fancy as the East Egg, but it is compared to other folks. It's pretty fancy. It's pretty fancy. And I wish I would have been able to tell y'all that page, but I couldn't find it.
Are you talking about it goes at the bottom of page 4 over to the top of page 5 where it says 20 miles at the bottom?
Bottom of page 4.
No, that ain't it. No, that ain't it. Good try though. But yeah, okay. So, can we get another question?
Yep. What is the bond business, and why is it important?
The bond business.
I ain't heard of no bond business before.
You haven't? Let me take you to page.
I remember when he was reading a bunch of books for school.
I asked this question because I kind of didn't understand it, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think I know what it means.
Okay, here it is on page 3. Go with me to the second paragraph.
So I decided.
Yep. He said, so I decided to go east and learn the bond business. Everyone I knew was in the bond business, so I suppose it could support one more single man. And then it says that he like went to prep school and stuff like that. But really, the bond business is just basically stocks and bonds, right?
That's what I thought it was.
Oh, I thought it was just
Like a
that.
stock.
Different bonds though, because you have stocks and bonds, and then you have Bell's bonds.
But I think he was a stockbroker.
Yeah, I think he was like somebody who bid on the stock market, because later on in the book, he asked Tom asked him what he did. He's like, he's a bond. He asked, did he know his bond man? He's like, no, I never heard of him. He's like, well, you will, or whatnot.
Yeah, if you stay in the east.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Da-da, da-da.
You do.
I was a woman.
Okay.
Da-da,
While Jordan is finding that, we have a vocabulary word from our vocabulary finder.
The other word of vocabulary was epigram. It means a pity, statement, or remark, expression, or an idea of a clever and amusing way. And the other word that I found was impeded. It means a serious medical condition.
Good job. Did you find it, Jordan?
Give me a minute.
No, it's okay. You don't have to find it if you don't want to. You know that, right?
I want to. Here you go. It's on page 10. At Tom Buchanan.
Page 10.
Yeah, page 10. It says, Tom Buchanan, who had been hovering restlessly about the room, stopped and rested his hand on my shoulder. What you doing, Nick? I'm a bond man. Who with? I told him. Never heard of them. He remarked decisively. This annoyed me. You will, I answered shortly. You will if you stay in the East.
Oh, I remember this movie.
So the people who in the East End is the people who in the bond business.
No, they all over the place.
Oh.
But he apparently works for somebody that stays on East End.
Right.
Okay.
I
Okay.
still don't understand what it is, though.
You don't know what a stockbroker is?
I know what a stockbroker is, but then when it said them, I think of Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
Like a team of people.
No, because when he probably said it, because you see they didn't give a specific name. When he said it, he probably said it as a company, not a person.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. That's how I took it. I don't know. Okay.
One other question.
Yeah.
What catches Nick's attention at the end of chapter 1?
Oh, God.
Okay, that's it. We're
That
not going to answer
concludes
that question.
that concludes our literary circle. You have just been with the Word Girls. You guys have a fabulous day. Bye.